go. Welcome everybody. Welcome on the Hohner YouTube channel. Really looking forward to today's stream and conversation. This is Hohner Live episode 68, which is crazy. And we have a very special guest here with us today. Originally from Iceland. Right now, he's in Michigan. Please welcome with me, Thor. Give him a big hand. I want to see a lot of clapping hands. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
So, for those who don't know about Thor, Thor is an amazing harmonica player and also a pedal steel player. You got to tell us more about that. Currently on tour with the rock band Kallio. Is that how you pronounce the band? Or is it
Kallio.
Pronounced in Finnish too? No, Finnish, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's like the language you speak in Icelandic?
Icelandic, yes. So it's pronounced Kallio.
Yeah. Sounds very German.
Close.
That's crazy. But you gotta tell us again how you pronounce your first name. Because that was too hard for me. Maybe somebody else out there can do it.
So my full name is Thorleifur Davidsson.
Okay.
So that's why I end up just shortening it. Most people just call me Thor over here in the States, and Thorleifur is just the longer version.
That's crazy. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with Thor for right now. Thank you everybody out there for tuning in. Let us know from where you're tuning in. There are people tuning in from Sweden, from Holland, from Poland, and just posted on Instagram. So there will be more people tuning in. And I'm glad you made the time because you're on tour right now. So
yeah,
Michigan, what's up next? You told me that you're going to Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago tomorrow, and then up to Canada, Winnipeg, and yeah, I'm on until May 22nd, just touring around the US and Canada.
And you started out in February already, is that right?
Yeah.
That's
been
crazy.
A while, yeah.
So for those who don't know, I mean, you both play harmonica and pedal steel with Kallio, right?
I also play a few other things. I play guitar and mandolin and percussion.
Oh yeah.
So I do I'm a utility guy, as we say in the States. But the main things are harmonica and pedal steel.
Wow, that's wonderful. I saw some pictures of you doing both at the same time. Do you do that too sometimes?
Yeah, rarely, but I sometimes I switch it up in the middle of a song. But I haven't done the pedal steel and harmonica stand. It's
okay.
It's maybe in the future.
I see. Yeah. So what was first for you then? Did you start out playing harmonica first, or was it pedal steel?
So I actually started on drums when I was 5, but then I moved. My first kind of serious instrument was guitar when I was 10, and I have studied that throughout my life.
Yeah.
And that's always my go-to, kind of to figure out things. And then around 15, I started playing the harmonica. And only 2 years ago, I started playing the pedal steel. It's like my COVID instrument.
Oh wow! Okay.
I got all this time to work on it, and now it's.
So that's your COVID hobby that turned into another job.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know.
I see. Yeah. So what got you attracted to it? Did you have to do it? Did the band want you to play it, or was it something else, or was it just like something that felt close to the guitar?
I just love the sound of the instrument, and I had played like slide guitar and like lap steel a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a logical next step to do, and I just so fascinated by it, and there's a lot of unexplored territory, and it actually just having mapped out the diatonic harmonica and in all keys wires your brain so it's easier to do it on pedal steel because it's these strange intervals. So you kind of you're used to having a weird map of an instrument in your head, so it's easier to add another one to that.
Oh, that's very nice that you're talking about like the instrument in your head or in your mind. That's like very important for harmonica players, because like that's the only visual representation you can derive from it. Yeah,
for sure.
Very true.
It's an interesting process.
So there was also an autodidactic process learning pedal steel?
Sorry?
Oh, did you learn pedal steel autodidactically too?
Yeah, it was just like I've had like a couple lessons online, but most of it is just like mapping out and finding your way around the instrument. And I put myself in a hard position, like 2 weeks after I got the instrument, I was playing a live to 2-track session in Nashville, like where if I would fuck up, it would ruin the take. So I spent like all hours for those 2 weeks just to get a few songs in, and then I went pretty much straight on tour.
Yeah, but that's how you learn things, right? Like if you have to do it.
Yeah,
there's like no other way around it.
Yeah,
you know, if someone asks you,
I love that.
Oh yeah, can you maybe like write a piece for chromatic harmonica and orchestra, and we're gonna give you this and that amount of money, and you're on the phone and like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
But you can't. But it's like a job you just have to accept.
For sure.
Then that's how you learn stuff as a musician. As like a musician who's like already making a living.
Totally. That's how you grow. Make those next steps.
Yeah, very true. So you told me earlier that it was also weird learning the harmonica basically without a teacher too, right?
Yeah.
Or mainly
like
working with other instrumentalists.
Yeah, for sure. But like in Iceland, we're only 350,000 people, so there's not a lot of harmonica players around. There was a few like blues players around that kind of drew me to the instrument.
Yeah, who's like the most famous Icelandic harmonica player besides you?
There's Kau. He's like a very known a hero of mine, and he's a great blues folk songwriter and musician.
Yeah.
And I was kind of grown up around him, and I play a lot with him now. Now I do lots of gigs with him back home, and he taught me a lot, but it was more like indirectly, just by his being. But I learned a lot also on like YouTube. I just like followed Adam Gusso and like Ronnie Cellist, and I was following like what those guys were doing, and then eventually like what you were doing and Howard Levy, and it was just like that was my gateway into like it's so different to be self-taught today than it was 20 years ago. Like we have access to all this information.
Yeah, it's all out there. You can learn everything by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And you can really you still have to do the work and figure out a lot of things. There's no like real method to learn it, but it's just you can be guided in the right direction.
So when you started out playing harmonica, like what was your influence? Like did you hear somebody else playing the instrument? Or was it just like the style of music? Did you want to play blues, or what did you have in mind?
Yeah, it was blues like that drew me to it. I played blues from an early age back in Iceland, and there's actually a great scene for that. There's a great festival there. And so I was like really drawn to the sounds of Little Walter and Big Walter and Sonny Boy, and that was like kind of what drew me in. And that's still what's like, I keep coming back to those players, and just to remind me like where I come from and what the history of the instrument. And I find that really important to check out too, and it always like I hear it differently every time.
That's nice. Yeah.
And through those scenes, I was like I got to play with some great players back home in Iceland, and they opened my eyes and ears to a lot of things. So and then I started getting hired for lots of projects because I was like, yeah, one of the main guys around, and so I got into this opportunity, as you said, with the orchestra. Just like,
Okay.
you never know, like I had a project where I had written out sheet music, chromatic stuff, and I just had to figure it out.
I see.
And that's how I like realized it's just like, oh, it is like a full-blown chromatic instrument. It's like, and I knew of it through what you and Howard and lots of guys are doing, but just like I really learned by being forced to do it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So it was
like
just like a performance with an orchestra.
No, yeah, I was just using that as an example. That
Okay, yeah.
thing.
Oh, true. Got it.
I was that project was like a weird band with there was a theremin player in it, and there was like these all kind of like stringed orchestrations, and when I was young, and then I had lots of projects like that, like in lots of music genres. I was supposed to play with the symphony orchestra like in 2020, but it got cancelled because of COVID. But hopefully we'll get to do that. That's a dream of mine too.
Yeah, that was weird sometimes. I mean, it got postponed and we played the concert now, but I think it was like end of 2020 or something. Was supposed to be like a New Year's kind of concert with an orchestra.
Nice.
And I was just about to hop on the train to drive down there for the rehearsals, and the concert already got cancelled, and they already decided to just record the concert and make it a live stream.
Yeah.
But even that, like, some kind of rules changed on that very day. So they already started rehearsing, the orchestra, and they had to stop. So I was just about to jump on the train, and I got the call that everything's cancelled and the orchestra stops rehearsing.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I'd love to hear that. It's a beautiful sound. The harmonica, it's just it lays so beautifully on top of other.
I mean, we do have enough
so
highs, yeah.
Yeah. And
it of course, obviously, it feels good, just like physically too, like having like a big setting, playing behind you, like could be an orchestra or a big band.
Yeah, for sure.
So what kind of music are you listening to right now? Like if we would go and check out your Spotify playlist, like what kind of music do you like?
I'm listening to a lot of jazz. It's interesting when you're on the road, like when you're playing the same repertoire every night, kind of you seek out the contrast. So now I'm like, because I'm on this tour, I just like want to play standards all day.
Yeah.
And so I'm listening to a lot of that. I love Cannonball Adderley. And there's just listening to some of the old Miles stuff. And Wynton Marsalis and Stan Getz stuff. And I'm actually spending a lot of time on chromatic. It's become my hobby project for this tour.
Yeah.
And it's like, I usually do the stuff I shouldn't be doing. So like when I'm on tour, when I should be working on steel stuff, I start to work on the chromatic or whatever. It's just like, you often have an urge to go in a different direction. So I try to, like in the later years, I try to follow that, just like follow the inspiration.
I mean, it's at least a little right to just like work on another instrument instead of getting drunk and wasted, which is another option on tour.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so
I've been quite
but I
focused
really
on
like
this tour.
I really feel you there, because like I also want to play some more chromatic. I feel like it's very useful in some contexts, and also like in pop music. Like if you want to incorporate harmonica and you don't want to add like a solo to every song, then chromatic is a better choice to maybe like replace maybe some horns or something.
For sure. And it's just like, it's such a different instrument. That's what I'm realizing too. It's just like, I never did it for a long time because everybody was telling me to do it. Like, because I did it, I was kind of stubborn. I wanted to do everything on diatonic.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for that, because that like really opened the instrument for me. But now I'm feeling like, it's just a different instrument. It's like it feels so different.
Yeah.
And I'm drawn to other things on the chromatic, so I'm really, and that's helping me on the diatonic. So it's like there's a lot of crossover too.
Perfect. Yeah, doubling on all these instruments is good.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your chromatic. That would be interesting. I've never heard you play it.
Oh yeah, we could do a little chromatic. You have your chromatic with you?
Yeah, I have a couple ones.
I can only play a blues maybe in D minor or like in G major.
Yeah, we can do that.
What kind of chromatic do you play?
I dabbled in between. I have the Super Chromatica. It's like, it's more cutting. Then I also have like a Suzuki. Then I have I try on between both ones. It's nice.
Yeah, I also have like the Harmonica, which is like very old. It doesn't sound that good anymore. But I like the sound better sometimes. I mean, this CX12 is just a little more. It cuts through, but it also sounds maybe like a little more like plastic, but in a good way, for like R&B and soul.
Totally. I really want to try that one. I haven't tried it.
And it's like very bendable, you know?
Yeah.
You get the Stevie Wonder sound, kind of, right?
Yeah. Closer. Love it.
Oh, Fatih from Turkey is also writing, dude, your harmonica performance is amazing. When I listened Hey Gringo for the first time, I'm amazed by you. Bro, that was absolutely amazing.
Nice. Thank you.
That's cool.
Fatih from Turkey. I'm coming to Turkey. I'll be playing in Istanbul.
Oh, with Khalil?
Later this year. Yeah.
That's nice. And you already told me that you're coming to Hamburg too, so maybe we can meet up there, no?
Yeah.
Do you have a blues melody in mind we can play on the chromatic?
Yeah, we could do, if you like in D minor, we can do maybe like a minor blues, like.
Okay. I already always gotta think like completely differently about the instrument, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a whole new
never really practice chromatic, to be honest. But it's kind of fun.
It's great, yeah. Yeah, I love it too. It's also very new for me, and I'm like, I haven't had the like life experience on it, so it's like for me it's just like it's quite a personal thing. It's like if I want to work something out like a melody, it's nice to have.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly adding it to my repertoire.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like improvising on the chromatic, I sometimes have like melodies in my head that I would like to play and that I can play on the diatonic. But like sometimes the execution like doesn't come out perfectly. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe
totally.
I like end on like the wrong note or something.
Yeah.
Not a wrong note, but like not the one I intended to play or that I heard in my mind.
For sure.
So yeah, that would be just like about spending more time on the instrument.
For sure. Should we do one on diatonic to?
Yeah, please.
To cleanse the palate.
Yeah, I mean, people always like to hear a lot of playing on the Hohner Live.
Yeah, for sure.
So
what do you
that's
use?
good.
What do you play for diatonic?
Oh, which kind of instruments?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do play regular marine bands actually, but customized.
Nice.
I like the wooden comb.
Yeah.
And it's a mongrel still because like I have the special 20 cover plates on them.
Oh, nice.
I mean, my hands are comparably small, so it's easier for me to cup the whole thing.
Yeah.
But also,
nice.
Since I don't have to like close the holes on the sides.
Yeah.
So this way I can hold the harmonica like this, which also gives my mouth more space, or like gives me more space to take the harmonica further into my mouth, especially in the lower octave.
Nice.
I mean, if you hold the harmonica like this is maybe for beginners out there, there's less space for the mouth.
For sure.
So maybe that's the new way of teaching.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But both options work.
Yeah, what do you, should we do, just like a jazz blues in F or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, melody. Oh, I'm confused by the latency. Yeah, I feel like people do that way too. Could be done way more often, like going up there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting options. Like I spent a lot of time on. Joe Felisko really inspired me to work on those split things and bends. So I do a lot of that live too. And stuff like.
Oh yeah, I never do that a lot.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like the
yeah.
fiddle, like double stops on fiddle.
True.
I'm really inspired by that.
Yeah, it can be
And
very
there's-
beautiful, like in a ballad.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very sweet. Yeah.
I wrote a little tune I'd love to show you for this thing. It's kind of like inspired by Iceland and like the sounds of Iceland.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I never get like the
Thank you.
consistency of like just bending one side in my, like one hole out of the split. Always I get
Yeah,
like a
it's,
little bit on the other side too.
Totally, yeah. It's
Never really
it's
worked
like
on
a
it, yeah.
playful thing. You never quite land it. It's like never perfect. but
Yeah.
You kind of you play around with it.
But it's part of the piece too. Yeah, like you're
Yeah.
playing the root note and then like playing both, or like moving between the flatted sixth and the fifth there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a sound that inspires me, just like the lonesome harmonica.
Yeah, very true. I always bend like the one hole draw a little too, I think.
Yeah, totally.
I never do this, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. And there's a lot, and that's in third position. It was like a B flat in third. And there's so many things up there too, like not bent, but lots of sounds that are just like really inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Just these intervals of sixth and fifths, just like, and there's
Especially if the
limitations to it,
harmonica is tuned well. It sounds.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess mine is out of tune a little.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still, like, if you play some splits and the harmonica is not tuned that well, you can still like influence the pitch of the notes a little.
For sure. And the harmonica is like quite forgiving compared to at least the steel. Like if you're like off by this much on steel, like you hear it straight away. There's something about the timbre of the harmonica that's more forgiving, and it's more like you can play around with it more. It's like the bluesiness of the instrument.
That's true. Yeah. Oh yeah, Darius is writing like the 3-instrument. Great stuff. Oh, Amanda is tuning in. Hope you're doing great. Fatih has a question for you, Thor. Why you guys, Icelandic people, seems so too calmly? All of you guys speak politely and calm. Why is that?
Because it's so
maybe
calm
it's about the surroundings in Iceland, right?
Yeah, it's so silent, and we don't have to speak loudly. It's like you hear everything.
But I mean, you just told me that you spent so much time in the US now.
Yeah.
Does that feel different in that kind of sense?
Yeah, for sure. Like especially on being on tour, it's like constant noise. You're always. This is like. Yeah, it's always something around you. You're in the bus, sleeping, and you hear the road and the AC, and you come to the venue and they're sound checking, and there's subs. So there's never a silent moment. So you get used to that too. But I try to seek it out. Like today, I went out for a bike ride and found a little park and went to lay on the grass just to get a little tranquil moment.
Very needed. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love this too. It's like you find balance in it all. And it's like the US is so inspiring. I've seen so much great live music, and I try to see. It's like there's so many great musicians here, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So can you tell us when did the band Kaleo? When did the whole project begin? Like, did you guys get to know each other in Iceland?
Yeah, so they go way back. They're like childhood friends. But I was just hired to play on their first record. They just needed a harmonica, and they hired me, and we just really got along, and we stayed in touch, and we moved to the States around the same time. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
And you gotta tell us more about that too.
Yeah, that was a trip, and then they moved to Austin, and so every time they came through Boston, I played with them, and then once they had their space for me, I joined them, and I've been on tour with them since.
Oh yeah. So the initial step or the initial decision of moving to the US was first for studying at the Berklee College of Music for you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But how about harmonica over there? Like, you didn't really study harmonica, did you?
No, the thing was like I sent them a message and they were like, yeah, you can. Like I had to force them to allow me to audition.
Yeah.
And then I got an audition, and they really liked it, and they gave me a full scholarship. And so I went over there, but once I arrived, because I had to pick an instrument on the list online.
But did you apply with harmonica or with guitar or steel?
With harmonica.
Not with pedal steel. That was later on, yeah.
Yeah, I was all on harmonica, and my whole time there was focused on that. But when I had to pick an instrument just like online, so I picked alto sax because just like range and just like random. So when I arrived, they thought I played alto sax. It got like lost in the system, and so I had to go between the departments, and I could decide myself where I'd go.
Yeah.
And I ended up being in the brass department. And I had a great time there. I studied with lots of great trumpet players and trombone players. Sean Jones, this amazing jazz trumpet player. Phil Wilson, trombone player who once played with Louis Armstrong. I was in Woody Herman's band for 30 years, and Jeff Stout, great like bebop and swing player. It's just like really inspiring people that pushed me a lot. And I got to be just like a regular brass player in that department. I was in like reading labs where we were reading like Bach chorales.
Yeah.
Where I would play the horn parts, and it taught me a lot how to blend and how to intonate like with other instruments. So
But did you stick to the diatonic there, or
yeah,
also grab the chromatic sometime?
I was stubborn there.
Yeah.
I was only on diatonic. But it was a really inspiring time, and it like forces me to just like, they didn't treat me differently. They put me to the same standards as they put their trumpet players.
Yeah.
So I had to do the same proficiencies. I had to play the same scales. I had to sight read. I had to like play a piece for them, just at the same standard as a trumpet or trombone player. So that really like, I really had to work at it, and I learned a lot from that.
I believe. I mean, I can just tell you the same, because I did pretty much the same.
Yeah, for sure.
And mostly had
study?
like lessons with piano players, because like I felt like, okay, I need to visualize stuff, right? And it was also nice because like you could always like during your one-on-one lessons you had some harmony instrument to play with.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did study with like some saxophone players too.
Yeah, I think that's like opening up your like vision to everything. Like, is the most valuable for me. Just like because then you have access to all this information. Like,
yeah.
You can steal from everyone, not just harmonica players.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you know about some other harmonica players who possibly studied at Berkeley?
Yeah, there's a great chromatic player called Ronnie Eitan, who was finishing around the time I was there.
Okay.
He plays with Danilo Perez. He's like a top-level jazz player from Israel. And we've been exchanging lessons a bit. He taught me a couple lessons on chromatic, and I taught him a few on diatonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a really inspiring dude.
So do you actually teach harmonica too sometimes?
Yeah, I've done some online stuff, and I've done like some in-person stuff, but less in the recent years. It's just like I'm busy with the road and recording, and just I'm so putting so much energy into learning myself that it's just like hard to find the time to teach. But I love teaching too, and I think that time will come where that will take over more.
Yeah. But starting out like with a beginner student, like what's like the first thing you teach? If I come up to you and I bought my first Special 20 harmonica, and it's the first time for me playing the instrument. It's
just, for me it's just getting like a clean sound. First, just to start with chords, just like make sure it's not obstructed, that you're like breathing fluidly, and then just go on to
starting out with whole one, yeah,
and just like moving on and feeling that you have like that it's not obstructed and you're relaxed, and just like working on these simple things, just like having a relaxed embouchure while still being able to have that focused tone. And I still do that. Like I do long tones all the time. Like that, especially like I do it a lot with like bends where I just like try to keep a steady bend, just like, and keep the tone open. And often it's like a lot harder on these like lower bends to keep it sound as nice as an open tone. So I still
Yeah.
spend a lot of time on that. Same with the overblows, just like making them sound good and musical.
Yeah, they're like
So you don't
two.
have to think about them.
Yeah, they're two parts. Like one is like intonation, just like keeping the pitch the same, but also
Yeah.
like the sound of it, like keeping the timbre of the note the same.
Totally.
So I mean, yeah, long notes. Everybody, practice your long notes.
Yeah, for sure. And get out of your comfort zone. Play stuff that is hard for you. Just like and like keys that make you struggle and yeah, I've done quite a bit of that too. Just like.
Okay, so
help.
I'm just forwarding the next question by Fatih. He asks, were they drunk when singing Hakuna Matata with JJ?
Yeah, probably. There's a clip somewhere.
Oh, there's just a clip
Yeah,
on social media or what?
I have no idea. I thought
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Don't look it up.
Rather check out some music on Spotify and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure.
Jessica is
There's
asking. Oh yeah, say that again.
There's a playlist somewhere I can link maybe that has a lot of stuff I played on in Iceland.
Oh nice, yeah.
Because I've been really I've been quite an active session player in Iceland, and so it's yeah, and so I've done a lot of different kinds of session, pop music and jazz and stuff like that. So I'll link that to the chat.
Yeah. Well, what's like the craziest thing somebody asked you during like a recording session in the studio?
Yeah. Like craziest
request.
Yeah, there's been like recently I did a really fun one where I got to do like a harmonica choir, like bass harmonica and chord harmonica and like do a whole section. And sometimes people just like want really fast stuff or like really high up. Lately I've been experimenting with like layering harmonica, like experimenting a little bit with that in the studio. Just adding like two harmonicas on top of each other and just like playing with that. And that's been really inspiring.
Yeah, that's as soon as bands and stuff are involved, that's a big exercise in itself too.
Yeah, for sure.
So you share the link right now, right?
I see. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
Slow.
Because there's another question by Jessica, and she asks, "What's your favorite song to perform live during the tour with Kaleo?"
Oh yeah, it's hard to pick. I love playing Hank Greenko. I love playing. There's a song called Broken Bones. That's a fun one. There I play harmonica too, and then there's a few I play steel on that are really like inspiring, push me. But I think Greenko is always a fun one.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, I wish I could like visit your concert on was that June 15th?
Yeah, June 15th. Me too, man.
I think like we have like a rehearsal going on in Berlin there already.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
found the link finally. I'm gonna send it to the chat so everybody can listen to.
Boss just asked about your practice routine. I mean, being on tour is probably hard, but can you tell us about your practice routine back when you were at Berkeley?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was quite intense at Berkeley. It was interesting to see to way you use your time. But then I worked out on a lot of just like things that the teachers were pushing me to do. Like sometimes it was something like way out of my comfort zone, like giant steps or something like that. Or sometimes it's like I usually have some sort of jazz routine I'm working on, like working on 10-minute scales and certain progressions. And then I usually have some like classical stuff I'm working on, like playing Bach pieces or whatever, like something like that. Just like
playing classical is huge. Also just for legato playing. For
sure. And then I also work on rhythmic stuff, like with and without the harmonica. And then I usually like transcribe some stuff to push me, and then I also work on some blues stuff every now and then, just like really like I love tongue blocking and that whole sound too, and checking out like DeFord Bailey and that old school like folk harmonica. But now these days it's just like it's more in the flow, and I'm like super thankful to have the harmonica on the tour, because I can play it anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, Wilhelm. Maybe I'm not polite now, but shut up and play. Wilhelm, I'm not sure if you know about the Hohner live interview series. So this is an interview mainly, but I mean we did have some interviews with a lot of playing. We did some playing earlier on. But we can do some more.
We can do another one, yeah. I'm thinking what we could do. Maybe just like a simple melody. I sent you on the chat.
Oh, by the way, we have.
If you could post that to the, because somehow I can't write it in the comments.
So that's the link to Thor's Spotify playlist with a lot of songs he played on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it's time for an ad. And maybe we can connect it to the song we play. So we have another Twitch Harmonica challenge going on.
Nice.
It's on May 1st with Igor Kasuya from Brazil, and it's a Bossa harmonica challenge. So everybody out there, you can upload your recording of a Bossa piece to the Harmonicat's Discord server. You can find all the information linked below. And yeah, I also uploaded the announcement video to my YouTube channel. You can also find a little lead sheet of Mania de Carnaval there, Black Orpheus, which is a nice Bossa piece. Also thought about Favela, or the original name of the piece is Omojo Now Team Vase. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. Which works well for beginners too. Maybe I'm gonna add it to the description box. So looking forward to your submissions. It's May 1st, 6 p.m. Central European Summertime on my Twitch channel. You can win one of 3 Hohner Marine bands in natural minor. Thor, do you like to play different harmonica tunings sometimes?
I haven't really experimented with that, but maybe one day.
Oh yeah.
It's just like I've spent so much time on that Richter tuning that it's just like.
I feel you.
It started to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just love the sound of it, so I've just kind of stuck to it. But I'd love to do. I can play Black Orpheus maybe.
Yeah. That's what I just wanted to. That was just an idea to maybe play a Bossa piece.
Yeah.
So I went for the C harmonica.
Yeah, nice.
That's what I would suggest to, like, intermediate or even beginner players out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's a nice sound too. This, yeah, I
But
like
the G includes some more
really
bands,
like
and
the lower.
it's a little lower, and it's also a nice sound.
This one just
And you have
like
the
a
double
stock
stops, right?
crossover. Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
an advantage.
It's a nice sound. Yeah, for sure. And it's like the third position. You have a lot of just like things connected to it. It's just like it's a very nice sound. Just blue, like there's a lot of history in that position.
Yeah. I always played it on C harmonica.
Yeah. There you have it.
Oh yeah, that's very expressive too, yeah. There's a beautiful recording of the piece by Toots Tielemans.
Oh yeah.
On his Brazil Project album.
Yes.
And that
Our
solo,
main man.
that's a solo I transcribed on the C harmonica.
Oh nice.
It's nice, yeah. And it's like kind of like a fast version, like.
Yeah.
With a double time feel from the band.
He's been a big inspiration for me. Like especially in the last years, I really kind of the reason why I picked up the chromatics, just like.
Yeah.
His approach.
Yeah, it's so nice. He has some beautiful phrases in there, and also very rhythmic.
Yeah.
Very rhythmic.
Nice. That's something I've worked on too.
Yeah, and so on.
Nice.
Very strong solo.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to pick up that kind of stuff from chromatic, because it's like the rhythmic articulation is different. And that's something I worked on a lot too. Like,
but he's very articulate. I feel like. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Just like being able to articulate those bends, and it's like being relaxed in that position. And it's like it's still a work in progress, but it's just like finding ways to articulate and like all the possible techniques.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Toots is very articulate there. There are many chromatic players who like don't talk through the instrument. They don't do da 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 da, but they just articulate from back here, you know. But I like articulation.
Yeah, me too. I love Louis Armstrong. He articulates like no one else. It's like very direct.
Yeah, it's nice to borrow from the chromatic too as a diatonic player.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff you can't do, like.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But there's stuff you can do on the diatonic, and that's always the thing. Like, it's finding the balance of like learning it like it is, and also seeing like, okay, maybe it sounds better like that. You learn it a lot as you know on like playing like bebop hats and stuff like that. It's like you can't always do it exactly the way the recording is.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, you're just like,
Oh, you also play it in first.
yeah, and then you have to figure out ways to make it sound good, and not play the exact notes.
Yeah.
It has to just have the nice right feel, because you have to.
That's it.
You find this balance, the balance of.
There's
like,
definitely sometimes better to make a little adjustment for the harmonica to make it sound good, instead of like forcing the harmonica to play it the way somebody else played it on some other instrument.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
like it wasn't written for harmonica.
Yeah, and that's something Toots said. I heard him say once in an interview. That just like, don't be afraid to play the easy stuff. It's stuff that lays well on the instrument, and that's like.
Yeah.
I often think about that for the harmonica. Just like, yeah, you can play in all keys and you can work on these complex things, but like in the end, just like. People love to hear that, and people like respond to that, and that's what sounds so good on the instrument. So like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be cheesy, but just like, don't be afraid to do the stuff that sounds good on the instrument.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Because
about that like more and more too. Like also like whatever, maybe uploading like some musical videos to YouTube or Instagram or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like at some point I was always like, oh yeah, this has to be even better and faster and more fancy. But now I'm like, maybe I should just like upload a recording of me playing whatever. Just like an easy good melody, just playing Happy Birthday or
Yeah.
a song to put children to sleep or something.
Yeah, for sure.
And make it sound beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you play the Donald Lee hat on, or like in first position.
Yeah.
Because like I
It's
always
because of the
thought-
melody.
Yeah, I mean I also heard like Howard Lee playing it, and he has that recording in first position.
Yeah.
But I never like was really happy with it, like, and I couldn't
Yeah.
really play it in first.
Yeah.
And I haven't played it in years.
So you play it on
But
B
I
flat.
played on a B
You
flat,
played
yeah.
it- Yeah, nice.
Which
Yeah,
I
it
always
makes,
felt was
makes
nice.
a lot of sense.
And then you gotta jump up.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
You gotta change octaves.
Yeah.
But then you're in second position and it's like,
Yeah. Totally.
but I still gotta practice
Yeah,
the
it's-
first position version.
Yeah, it's a tricky sometimes to play like jazz in first position. It's like, it's so open.
Yeah.
Like piano players talk about it in the key of C. It can sometimes be hard. It's like just, yeah, it's a lot of open notes, but it's somehow, it also has that bluesy element, and that song is quite bluesy. Like if you think of it, it's just like
Very true. Yeah.
it's within in the key a lot. So
And then playing
So-
it in 11th is like bluesy.
yeah, totally. But it's all, yeah, it's and that's the thing. Also, just like try it always, see what works for you, and that's the beauty. Like you make it sound good there, and that's what you're drawn to naturally, and that's like that's what makes you the musician who you are.
Yeah, maybe try some positions that sound terrible. Just to get
Yeah.
back to the one that sounds better.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting a better feel of the whole thing.
Yeah. But that's what been my like thing with the chromatic now, just like playing stuff in all keys, just like evenly. I want to start the instrument like even in all keys. And
Yeah.
I'm still just I'm a beginner on it. I'm just like getting started, but I want to keep the flow even, so I don't stop thinking about the keys. And it's nice to have an instrument like that where you're like fluid.
Man, actually, we haven't done like a chromatic harmonica challenge so far. So maybe that could be a future topic.
Yeah, you should have
Also
Ronnie
forces
on.
myself to
Yeah,
play the chromatic.
for sure.
Oh, what did you just say? Who could be like a special guest for that?
Ronnie, that Israeli player.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great. You should check him out.
That's a good idea.
Or Antonio Serrano, or like he's one of my favorites too. I love him.
Yeah.
Love his playing.
Yeah, I'm just like wondering, but we'll see. Like if like people out there, all the diatonic harmonica players, if they also have a chromatic at home, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of people have, but maybe don't play it as much. Maybe it's a good way to open it up.
Yeah. I could participate in the challenge myself then.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, Frank, the challenge, this month's challenge, or I mean, the stream is going down on May 1st, is Bossa Nova. And I have the announcement video on my YouTube channel. Also included a lead sheet for a nice, easy piece. You can check it out. Boas says, since you're talking about the chromatic, was there a time when you were trying to play in every key on one key of a diatonic? Yeah, we still do that, right?
Yeah, it's like always a thing. But I still like end up playing most things in the first 3 sharp and first 2 flat positions.
Yeah.
It's just what sounds good. It's back to that. But I sometimes challenge myself. But I've like, in the end, you have to do what sounds good. But it's I often when I warm up for the Kaleo thing, I often like play in hard keys just to get my embouchure in shape.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of reset.
Yeah, totally. And you can't just like.
Well, like it could be like a meditation kind of exercise
for
too.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Just to go through the notes and like also, I mean, sometimes it's just about not about warming up, but just to see like, oh, how does playing harmonica feel today? You know?
For sure. It's a beautiful thing to check in. I see Boas also asks about my repair work.
Yeah.
I just do it myself, and same with just like minor customizations. But sometimes I'm lazy with it. Like that G I played, the Manenten Caravalo one, it's like stock. I haven't done anything with it, and you can hear it a bit on the overblows. I have to work harder for them.
Yeah.
But I also like the stock harps sometimes, just like. If they're more airy, you get this like kind of.
Yeah, I can't get the sound of my customized harmonicas. And sometimes you can be even more extreme with like tongue articulation on the draw notes, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like you got a little more power.
Yeah, and I enjoy that too. So I go in between that sometimes, and like I have to be able to do my own repair. There's no one in Iceland doing it, so I just learn it by trial and error.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
That's what you
gotta do.
And
the same with the steel. The same with the pedal steel. You have to do it yourself. Like you have to learn how to fix things. It's like owning an old car. It's gonna break down on the road sometime, and you have to be able to see what's wrong.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for today? Are you playing a show today?
Yeah, we're playing tonight in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think it's about like 2,500 people, and yeah, just another day. It's show 30 something, I think.
Wonderful.
And
you're coming to Europe in summer.
Yeah, be in Europe and then back to the States and then back to Europe.
So everybody, you can check out the description box. Check out the tour dates. Check
Yeah,
out
I can
Kaleo.
send,
Check out Thor on Instagram, on Facebook.
yeah,
What else?
yeah. I'm pretty bad at social media, but I'm on Instagram. You can follow me there.
Yeah.
I'll put in the link. I can send you both. Let's see if you could post it.
Yeah, I have like
I will
the
tour.
Instagram and stuff already in there. But
Okay, nice. But no
definitely
tour.
the tour link, that makes sense. Awesome. Yeah. How can we wrap this up? You want to do some more
Maybe
playing?
with a tune. Yeah. Let's see. There's some stuff I've also like. I worked on a lot of like bluegrass when I moved to the States, so I can do maybe like a little fill tune or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a song.
Yeah, that's
Something like
beautiful.
that.
Playing some of that stuff in second position.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I haven't been doing it for a while, but I was really inspired by like fiddle players, and I did a lot of that stuff when I was in Boston, playing bluegrass music. It's like inspiring
Yeah.
to see.
Adding the little rhythmic element too, like, yeah, getting
Yeah.
the swing in there. It's nice.
Totally.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I was so glad. It's my entrance to the harmonica community.
Exactly. So yeah, check out the description box. Follow Thor on Instagram. Check out the tour dates of Kaleo. Maybe they are in your town. And I gotta remember. I think we have like a 2-week break actually for the Hohner Live series. But we're talking to the next player in the 3rd week of May, I think. And his name is Isaac Orbit, if I remember correctly. And he's the biggest TikTok harmonica player.
Wow.
Not too many people know about him, I think. Like, not
Yeah,
yet.
wow.
But
Yeah.
he does some amazing rhythmic
Too old
stuff.
for TikTok.
He's older than I am, I think.
Yeah.
But he just like did crazy good duet videos, you know, with like drummers and
Nice.
stuff, and very rhythmic, like almost like a
Nice.
rapper. And
Yeah.
he has a very strong sound, and he has some videos with like 4 million views or something up there,
Oh wow.
which is crazy.
Gotta up our game.
That would be the next one. But first of all, I hope to see some of you out there on Sunday. I'm looking forward to your submissions for the Bossa Harmonica Challenge. Check out the description box for more information. You can upload your recording until Saturday midnight, Central European summertime. And yeah. Thor, I hope you have an amazing concert tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to talk to you, and hope to catch up in Germany sometime.
We can catch up in Hamburg. Very true.
Yeah, for sure.
Most beautiful city in Germany.
Yes, amen.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day or evening, wherever you are. Bye bye.